Welcome to the Rowan College of South Jersey Gloucester campus. We are here for our second of two games here this evening, starting a little bit behind schedule, but who's counting, right? Dan Wilkins here with Mike Shute. Got a good boys basketball game here matched up between the Deptford Spartans and the GCIT Cheetahs.
Spartans come in at 5-2 overall. GCIT 5-3. Two teams, of course, no strangers to one another, ready to meet here at a central point. It's GCIT's home game, but for Deptford, it's pretty much home as well for them. And we expect a big crowd here tonight here at RCSJ.
Crowd is already starting to fill up here, and for McNeil Rice, we spoke with him in the girls basketball game in the second quarter, and one thing that was really important to him and the success that GCIT has had this year is changing that culture. These guys are very close in the locker room, and we should expect to see that chemistry reflected on the floor tonight.
Yeah, and Mike Stanwood's the guy that kind of has been leading the way so far this season. 109 points for the Cheetahs, and he's been a guy that's really stepped up his game in the absence of Mark Hallman, who's suffered an injury, but is expected to back a little bit later this season.
And Stanwood didn't play on Tuesday versus Washington Township. Game time decision, but he's back on the floor tonight.
And we'll take a peek at Deptford real quick. Aiden Copestick, he's a top player for this Spartan squad. He can get to the basket, he can drive, he can slash, but he also can shoot the three, hit 5 in their last outing for the Spartans. So look for Aiden Copestick to be a man who can light it up for Deptford tonight.
And Deptford's only losses this year have been in neutral site games during the holiday tournaments. So for Deptford this year, they're coming in for another neutral site game. However, they seem to be very high energy in their layup lines, and we'll see how they bring it on the floor for the next 32 minutes.
Should be an exciting one here from RCSJ. We'll be back with all the action. GCIT, Deptford, here on the Gloucester County Educational Network.
And welcome back to the campus of Rowan College of South Jersey at Gloucester. We've got a good one this afternoon. This evening. It's well past afternoon now, as it's GCIT and Deptford facing off in Tri-County basketball. Deptford this year 5-2, as we mentioned in the open, 2-0 in the Tri-County Liberty Division. And we're going to introduce their starters for the visiting Deptford Spartans, coached by Mike Villari.
Villari in his second season as the head coach at Deptford. 18-5 record overall after a 13-3 first season last year. So we'll get a peek at the starters that the Spartans will bring out to the floor.
First one introduced is number 3, Kenny Cockerill. Along with that, number 12, that will be Brian Oreo. Jordan Williams also introduced there. And number 1, Luke Villari. And number 11, Aiden Copestick, as Mike mentioned in the open.
Copestick, the only senior starter for this Deptford Spartan squad. Villari, Williams, Cockerill, and Oreo, all juniors. Oreo's the point guard for the Spartans, and they trust him with the ball a lot.
GCIT introduces their starters, including 6'5" freshman Milan Suarez. He's the first to go. Pat Monahan, a senior forward for this Cheetahs team, gets introduced, along with CJ Schmidt. Played a very important role in GCIT's game on Tuesday versus Washington Township. Along with that, Ian Malagpo, junior guard, and number 0, Mike Stanwood, getting a very strong reaction from the crowd. He was a game time decision on Tuesday versus Washington Township. He did not play on Tuesday, but now he's back on the floor for the first time this week here in a crosstown rivalry between Deptford and GCIT. As we said, GCIT under McNeil Rice went 13-14 last year, 5-3 so far in this campaign. 3 divisional games in the Tri-County Royal, 1-2 so far.
4th season for Rice at the helm of GCIT. He's 39-50 overall, and we're going to bring in. We'll be bringing in the GCIT girls head coach to join us here in quarter number 1. And he'll be along for the ride. Coach Rob Eichavone will have him grab a seat in just a moment as we're set to tip things off here between GCIT and Deptford. Deptford, the visitors here in this neutral site game, GCIT using this as their home floor.
The tip is up and we are underway here in the nightcap. That shot rattles out from Williams. Now the Cheetahs bringing this back the other way with Mike Stanwood, the 5'8" junior guard, running the offense here.
This is the
fifth distance by Valari.
This is the 15th meeting between these two teams since 2010. Deptford has won 12, including 4 straight and 7 of the last 8.
3 ball misses on an air ball. Suarez feeds it back out, but it's an immediate turnover. This one's going to Valari. Bounce pass to Copestick into the corner. Here's a 3. No good. Too long. Ian Malagpo was the one who brought that down on the rebound as Stanwood goes back up the floor. A notable absence in GCIT's 56-41 loss to Washington Township on Tuesday at Washington Township. We're going to bring in the GCIT girls basketball coach here for a quick interview as that ball gets out of bounds. And Deptford will inbound.
Coach Icavone joining us.
How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm sure you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Feel good.
Good win for the girls squad of GCIT, winning 51-15 earlier on here. And Coach, you started off with the press quick, and that really seemed to kind of get things rattling and moving in your direction.
Yeah, I'm watching Deptford on tape. We felt like we might be able to pressure them a little bit. We typically don't, so I think we might have caught them off guard. I didn't want to do it the whole game. I just wanted to do it in the beginning. Just try to get a little bit of momentum. It did help. And then when we played the half-court man-to-man, that helped us. We're very good at half-court.
Deptford jumps out to a 2-0 start here with 6:25 left to go. And Coach, obviously you guys got a lot of turnovers in that game, and I know that's the style of play you guys have. You've got Maddie Dewar, who's just a beast defensively. You've got Brianne Riddick. She's just as equally a great defensive player. How important is defense to your team's success?
Well, that's actually what we preach. I mean, we win games on defense, and defense creates offense. So what we try to do is we play half-court man-to-man with a lot of offside help. So when you're watching, if you notice the girl, if she beats one of our girls, we have 2 or 3 girls in the lane. You have to communicate, you have to talk, and you have to really move, and they do a good job. And you named it. Maggie's a beast, Leanne, Avery, Gina, they all play, Savannah, they all play very good defense.
You guys came into this game with 94 team steals, including 27 from the junior Maggie Dewar. She's averaging 4.5 steals per game. We saw that in full force tonight. The steals were all over the place. You guys were doing them left and right. How important is that for you? You were talking about getting ahead, getting the momentum, and maybe it caught them off guard a little bit. But you guys are pretty much ahead of everybody else when it comes to steals. How important do you preach that to your offense and to your defense, particularly, about getting the ball back into your hands at any cost?
So again, that's part of our philosophy, the half-court defensive man-to-man. What we try to do, and if you look, we're one of the teams we give up the fewest points in our conference, but it all starts with intensity and on the ball. And when you have somebody like Maggie, who is like unbelievable with how she's on the ball, what that does for us, it gets our transition game going. And then what you saw tonight, which, some games it's not like this, once they start going and the shots go, it really starts flowing well. You saw Avery hit some key baskets. You saw Gina hit a couple big baskets. You saw Leanne hit a couple big baskets. That all starts on the defensive end.
So, Coach, we were talking to Coach Rice earlier during your game. Of course, you guys switching spots now. And I said to him, or I asked him, how much opportunity do you and he get to talk about basketball and just kind of trade ideas? And I'd like to get your angle on it, and how does that work for you when you have another coach in the building and you guys can chat it up a little bit before practice, after practice, whatever?
Well, this guy is a great coach, a great young coach. I get an opportunity every once in a while to sneak in the gym and watch his practices, and they are high intensity. He is all over it. His assistant coaches, I love watching them. I wish I had more opportunity to talk to him with his style, but he's a good guy, and I tell you what, he's going to be a great coach for a long, long time.
I would have to agree with you there. I mean, just from McNeil Rice's first few years here at GCIT, he is already setting the winning culture. We saw it last year. He made a great run in the Tri-County Conference tournament in Flight C, made it all the way to the finals, and you know, we're seeing even when they go down, they don't go down without a fight, and they really are a passionate team that is very, very locked in on the culture.
Right. I mean, you think of the obstacle he got before the season even started. His best player going down with an injury, and yet he's still in every game, he's still winning. That speaks volumes of the program, it speaks volumes of him as an individual, and quite honestly, it speaks volumes of the boys playing.
And for you, today was your 100th game as the GCIT coach. I don't even know if you knew
that. I didn't know that.
How about that? So, but I was going to ask, you know, had I said to you, when we talked earlier today on the phone, and I said to you, hey, coach, halftime Savannah Shoot's only going to have 2 points. Would you have felt a little uneasy about that?
Well, you know, again, sometimes they put too much emphasis on scoring, and if they don't score, they don't think they're a success. For zone offense, we move a little bit more without the ball. So there's always room for improvement. And as you know, the division we're in, there is no easy game.
Of course, absolutely not. That's for certain. But you've been able to pick up some key wins against some teams. You guys knocked off Clearview for the first time this year, right?
Yeah.
And last year, Kingsway for the first time. So this group that you have that's kind of moved along the last couple of years, how special have they been, you know, to watch play and see, you know, them grow the program?
So very special, because not only are they good basketball players, they're great kids, and they have a lot of fun. I don't know if you could tell that, you know, tonight by the game, but they really get along as teammates. And hey, they've been in the program now in all 4 years. This is the first team that's been with my coaching staff throughout their entire high school. So they know what they can expect from me and my coaches. And Marissa and Megan, the 2 assistant coaches, they're phenomenal with the girls. So yeah, it's fun to watch the development.
I have nothing else for you, Coach, but I really do wish you the best of luck this season. You guys seem to be off to an excellent start, and GCIT obviously showing off that prowess tonight with your win over Deptford.
Well,
and congratulations in your 100th game, ending it on a high note, right?
Yeah, I didn't even know it. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and thanks for doing this for the kids.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Good to see you, Coach.
You too.
Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, take care.
Yep.
Here in the first quarter, Deptford with an 8-point lead, 13-5 with 2.5 minutes to play. Deptford jumped out to a 7-0 lead. GCIT closing the gap ever so slightly. But it's still an 8-point game as Mike Stanwood brings this up the floor. Deptford in transition, lays it up with the right hand, Valari. And that's a 10-point double-digit lead as the Spartans taking control. Technically as the visiting team, but like we said, this game's basically a neutral site game. That's a 3-ball. Malagpo knocks it down. 15-8. As we said, Deptford 5-2. Their 2 losses were both in Winter Classics away from home. They played Robbinsville, lost 63-43 in the Ravens Winter Classic in Robbinsville. And they lost to Cherokee by 5 in the Brook Ball Winter Classic, the first annual, back on December the 30th. Stanwood passes to Malagpo into the corner, tries to bounce it off of the foot. But instead, Pat Monahan turns the ball over.
Actually, I think we got a foul down there on the baseline, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
On 11 Whites. That's going to go against Copestick. That's going to be his first, I believe.
That's the first team foul. GCIT already sitting on 4 fouls this quarter. Malagpo cuts to the left. Double coverage. That ball gets swiped away. GCIT, by the skin of their teeth, stays in bounds and stays above the half-court line. I mean, I'm sitting right in front of the half-court line. He might have been an inch away from a backcourt.
Second foul on Copestick real quick there as he got another one, bang, bang, down underneath the basket. So we'll see if they're going to sub for him, and it looks like they will quickly. And it looks like they'll bring in, is that number 10, Hunter Thomas coming in?
No, Deptford's going to bring in number 20 here, Shaquem Green.
Oh, okay.
As Stanwood will inbound.
It's a younger guy with not a lot of experience getting in some early run here.
Bounce pass in transition, left-handed lay from the man you just mentioned, Shaquem Green. And it's 17-8 here as Deptford taking control in the first quarter. Deep 3, Malagpo off the mark. And it's rebounded by Copestick. Copestick stops, now feeds this one into the corner, double guarded. Gets a high pass to Jordan Williams. He shoots, rattles out. And the rebound goes for number 20, CJ Schmidt. Malagpo, double guarded right in front of us. And a foul will be called. That'll stop the clock with 37 seconds remaining.
See what they get for that. They're going to get...
That'll be the 3rd foul against Deptford.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they whistled it on, though. That was hard to tell.
Could have gone either way, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Double guarded in the corner. Deptford really likes that scheme. Stanwood recovers. He shoots a 3. Good! Knocks it down. GCIT cracks into the double digits. 17-11. Under 30 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Stanwood has scored in double figures in 5 of the 7 games this year, twice going over the 20-point mark.
He put up 35 versus Cape May Tech just after the new year. I mean, 35 points in 32 minutes. You know, it's not... Got a foul here. It's not like college where you have those full 40 minutes. You're working with 8 less minutes of time. We talk about 35 minutes in a college game. We talk about 35 points in an NBA game. And that's impressive. Doing it in 32 minutes, I mean, that was a crazy good game from Stanwood there over Cape May Tech and the Hawks. We do have Aiden Copestick back at the line. A familiar face at the charity stripe here in the first quarter as that one goes 18-11.
He's a really good and confident 3-point shooter, Copestick. He had 5 in their last outing, 5 threes in their last outing, and you see him talking to himself a little bit there as he missed that first free throw, but he talked himself into making that adjustment and makes the second.
Well, Copestick there made both. Here comes a heave off the mark. Tried to get it in before the buzzer. He did, but the 3 from downtown by Stanwood is unsuccessful. At the end of the first quarter, the cheerleaders will take center stage as these two teams talk it over. It is Deptford 19, GCIT 11 here on the Gloucester County Educational Network. We'll be back in just a moment. At the end of the first quarter, it's 19-11, Deptford over GCIT. A strong start for the Spartans as they jumped out to a 7-0 run. GCIT held them in check, but it is still a Spartans lead by 8 points. I'm sorry, by 7 points here in the second quarter. As 19-11, looks like GCIT will inbound. Ian Malagho, the one to distribute to Mike Stanwood. Here comes a three. Stanwood, that ball got tipped. Into the corner for three. Cope stick off the mark. That one is rebounded by number 20, CJ Schmidt.
Schmidt, a real good rebounder. Had 3 straight games in which he reached double figures this year, scoring as well. So he's been really a key player in stepping into the role and helping to kind of chip in with Mark Hallman's injury. So he's been an important part of the puzzle for Coach McNeil Rice for sure.
Here comes another one from the three. Malagho, nothing but net. 19-14. We do have another special guest joining us from the administrative end. It is GCIT's athletic director, Mike McAleer. Thank you for joining us, Mike.
Guys, thanks for having me.
Of course, good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a great night.
Yeah.
Been some good games here. Got a good crowd. This has been a nice little tradition with Deptford and us.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into with you. You know, I guess the first time you did it was a couple years ago, right? Was the first time?
Irv McFarland, the AD, we had talked about it and doing something. And yeah, the first one we had a couple of years ago that was here. And it was was opening day. And I think we're going to try and get back to that. But it was a great crowd. Both communities come out. And, you know, again, we have a lot of kids from the Deptford area. They all know each other. So it's worked out really well.
And even so, like, you know, RCSJ, pretty centrally located because obviously GCIT, you guys have kids from Mullica Hill and Swedesboro, you know, Deptford, Paulsboro, Washington Township, you know, Williamstown, whatever. So it's a good central location to have a matchup like this for you guys, you know, to use as an alternate home court once in a while.
No doubt. We do a lot of stuff with RCSJ, and, you know, we're but just a couple hundred yards down. A lot of our kids do take classes there and stuff like that, and they come over and use our facilities for different things. So, and Brian Rowan, the AD here, and their staff has just been great with us.
Mike, you know, one of the things that I find very compelling about your job is that in my line of work, I've talked to a lot of athletic directors over the years. Of course, I went to high school at Audubon. I know Tony Carbone very well. And just in my line of work, I've talked to a lot of great athletic directors. But I feel like the athletic director's job at a tech school can be a little bit different just because of the people that you're working with. You know, the class structure can be a little bit different. The athletic mindset can be a little different. And of course, most tech schools don't field a football team, which is usually where most athletic directors have their priorities focused in the fall. Obviously, boys and girls soccer being one of them, but, you know, let's be honest, football might be the most popular out of that. The only tech school that has football in South Jersey is ACIT. They're in their first season. You know, what would you say, besides not having the facilities, you know, would be a reason why a lot of tech schools have not opted in for football in the last couple of decades, I guess you could say?
Well, the number one reason for GCIT, I can tell you, is facilities. That's just the biggest thing for us right there. It's a, you know, I would say it's, if you're going to start a sport like football, that's just a huge thing that you've got to commit to, you know, and you've got, yes. Now, we do have some football players who go back to their home school, but I would say not as many as you would need, especially for a size Group 4 school. So I think that has something to do with it. You know, you do have people coming from all over the county. That has something. But I can tell you, Passaic, Bergen, Sussex, they do very well. They play football up north, and they do very well.
Matters if you have the manpower, but, you know, that's the thing is that, you know, as an athletic director, you're at the helm of everything, and you've got to keep a line on everything from every sport. And, you know, I really admire the job of the athletic director just because they are always so involved with their communities. They're so involved with their athletes. Everybody knows everybody, even at a Group 4 school like GCIT, where even with a school with a populace so large, everybody seems to know each other.
One of the things that I tell you being part of the community, I tell the kids one of the only times Deptford will see GCIT is at a sporting event like this, or when we go to their other school. So it's a big responsibility because you represent the school. You know, a lot of people come out to it. So yeah, it's, you know, again, a lot of people. It's different sports, seeing the kids, you know, outside the classroom doing something, and it's always nice to see the faculty and everybody come out and watch.
Mike, I know when a few years back when I was working for South Jersey Sports Digest, we were starting that up, we talked to you about the challenges of kind of creating that community at a tech school like that where you are bringing kids in from all over the county, right? But it seems like it's really worked, and you've been kind of instrumental in that, in kind of getting people to come together, to come to events like this, create a situation where, you know, you still, even though your school does not represent a town per se, you still have that community feel.
I think one of the things too, when I came in, Mr. Dickin, the superintendent, this is what the exact thing that he wanted to happen in Moran. One of the things, we got freshman sports. Now you got more people involved. You know, you got more skin in the game here. You know, you bring in people that are going to be successful. I've been pretty fortunate to hire some coaches that have done a good job. You know, and they work in this school, and that helps out a lot. You know, and you know, your school and your program will sell itself. GCIT educationally, you know, it's a very good school. People want to come there. And now that our sports teams are doing well and our kids want to come here, you know, hey, I want to be part of that. I want to do some things. One of the first things, you know, if you walk around our schools now, a lot of gear, a lot of people wearing GCIT gear. You probably see out in the community. That's another thing. Let's get our brand out there. Let's sell it, you know, and we've done a good job of selling our school, not just, you know, for the sports and all that, but educationally.
Yeah, for sure, and it's definitely, you know, become prominent. You know, people know about it, right? I think 15 years ago, it was like, what's GCIT? You know, but now everybody but swimmers always knew what GCIT was, right?
Exactly. Still have that. Well, just, you know, this is my 20th year as AD. I was AD at Pittman for 8 years. Right. It was still a part-time school. They only had some JV sports, and they were in the classic division with Pittman. Right. By the time I got here, we were Group 3, and now we're Group 4 across the board in the Royal Division. So it's within a short amount of time, it has really changed.
And as far as changes go, what's been the biggest change you've seen in just the high school sports landscape in the last, you know, 10, 15 years since you've taken over?
Wow. Yeah.
If you can pinpoint one, I know because things have been kind of wild.
I see a lot of more and more kids seem to be going specializing, staying in that one sport. You know, we still have some 2-sport athletes, the 3-sport, but that seems to have gone a little bit. I think that, you know, probably the other part is, you know, club and outside is really big, and, you know, not that and, you know, they still want to play for the high school, but a lot of priorities seems to be putting that on those.
For sure.
And Mike, you know, just to kind of wrap things up here in the third quarter, as an athletic director, second quarter, getting ahead of myself, you know. No, but you've been an athletic director here for a long time, as you said, and you have been able to see the development of GCIT athletics. What would you say is the one thing, if you can think of it, that you are the proudest of all of your times here as AD, in all of your years? What is the one thing that you are the most, the proudest of that you've accomplished?
I think you kind of hit this earlier, is really the school and making it a community, making it like more like this is our school. I think sometimes it was still a priority. You know, I'm a Deptford kid, I'm a Kingsway kid, I'm this, but now you're a GCIT kid, and I think that's really broad. I like that there's more people that there's, you know, it's GCIT. It's a GCIT. We call it Cheetah Pride. You have that Cheetah Pride, you know, and just that has grown, and we become. It used to be, we're trying to be competitive. Now we want to win the division. We want to win playoff games, win a sectional championship. Those are probably the two biggest things.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a great time to be at a tech school like GCIT. And Mike, we appreciate your time. Well, as there's a 3-ball from Deptford, from Cope Stick. Mike, thank you very much for your time. Unless, Mr. Shute, you have anything?
Yep.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks a lot for coming out. Appreciate it.
Best of luck the rest of the night.
See ya.
Good to see you, Mike.
Under 2 minutes left in the half. Deptford with some key 3-balls there, including one from deep downtown by Aiden Copestick. That one's off the mark, wide left. Deptford still hanging on to the lead that they have had ever since the opening tip-off. It's 33-16. Copestick again knocks it down. 20-point lead as he has been electric here in the Roadrunner Gym.
Copestick feeling it. You could see as he was running down the court on that offensive set that he wanted to shoot that. He was feeling it. he is making some shots from all over the place, and he's just got a great feel right now.
He just feels loose. He just feels like nothing in the world could bother him right now.
He needs a sub, though. He's got to check out for some reason. I don't know if he's got a bloody nose or something, but he definitely went over to the coach and said, I got to come out, I got to come out.
Yeah, you can see he's going back there to the hallway. So coming in to sub for him is Alonzo Hernandez, number 4, as this will be bounced in by Ethan Morris. Malagpo has it. Back to the double-colored shoe in CJ Schmidt. A floater rattles out. Offensive rebound. Contact and one. Basket goes.
Strong rebound by Patrick Monahan there, and the putback, the captain, a returning varsity player from last year. And Coach McNeil Rice says that every team should have a guy like this guy, Patrick Monahan, because of what he brings to the table, not just athletically, but the attitude, the willingness to do anything for the team. That's what Coach Rice loves about that kid.
Absolutely. Pat Monahan with 56 points this year so far in 8 games played. 41 rebounds. He put up 61 points and 19 steals last year. 4 of his 8 games this year, he has put up double-digit points, including 12 points, 9 rebounds, and a 13-point loss to Clearview.
Yeah,
Air ball is wide.
They were both career highs for Monahan in that game against the Pioneers.
And that one will go out of bounds. So Stanwood will inbound with an open floor. 40 seconds remaining in the first half. 36-19, Deptford over GCIT. Stanwood crosses.
Monahan is from Deptford, as we talked about with Coach Rice during the girls' game. So this game is got a little extra meaning for him. He lives right down the street from Deptford High School.
That one's into the corner, double guarded, finding some space, and that one's going to go the other way.
Offensive foul they called. A little extra use of the arm there to turn the corner. Interesting call there along the baseline.
Rice seems to disagree, but he'll digress as in the final 20 seconds here, after a quick absence, Aiden Copestick back in. Hernandez checks out. 36-19, as we said here. Deptford has had a thunderous first half, especially from downtown. Aiden Copestick being instrumental in that three-point crusade. 8 seconds now. Feeding it to Antoine Sims. It's back to Copestick. He finds room. Moving 3. No good. They'll get a second chance, and it misses off the front of the iron. And at the end of what seemed like a very quick first half, a light fouling first half there, as Deptford, as the visitor, although not really here at GCIT, as it is 36-19, Spartans over the Cheetahs here on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Dan Wilkins here with Mike Shute. We'll be back in just a few moments after the halftime break. Welcome back to the Rowan College of South Jersey campus. Deptford leads 36-19 at the halftime break. And Deptford will inbound to start the third quarter. In fact, right in front of us, Kenny Cockrell will get it started as GCIT has been trailing for all of this game. However, they have not been out of it. Deptford has been very dominant on the three-point side of things, especially from the senior Aiden Copestick, the team's leading scorer at the moment. A nice feed inside. And Brian Oreo is the one who finishes with the assist from Copestick. And they start off the third quarter with a score. 38-19 now. Stanwood passes inside. Suarez somehow hangs onto it. And after a bobble, misses the layup. GCIT again. Suarez with a bit of back and forth hacky sack. Suarez is the one who finishes, the 6'5" freshman.
His first bucket of the night, and Suarez, a raw player who's really feeling his way out this year, just a freshman, but you see he's got the size, and you see he's got the athleticism, and he's got a really good feel for the game.
And he's got the ball again. You know, it's kind of a 1-2 duo, you know, one getting more minutes than the other, but I've seen with GCIT in their basketball games I've seen with them, it's Suarez and Charles Donaldson, two very young forwards and centers who certainly have the size, and they have the ability, I think, for the next couple of years to really play a key role in the GCIT offense if they continue to develop like they are. Moving inside, Pat Monahan. That ball gets swatted in the air by Stanwood.
You see they are trying to make a little bit of an effort to get it to Suarez here early on in the inside in the second half.
That shot rattles in by Deptford. They've got 40 now. But, I mean, that's the thing is that, you know, for Coach Rice, at the halftime break, you guys are down. Now you have to think about different ways to conduct the offense, different than you did in the first half, because you can't just sit there and say, yeah, what we're doing is perfectly fine. You have to think of something different to really give the offense a spark. And if it's something that'll catch Deptford off guard, then you can get yourselves back into a single-digit deficit, maybe even the lead.
Good D there to force the turnover.
Moving inside now, bounce pass from Malagpo to Suarez, and they say Deptford stepped out.
Yeah,
Brian Oreo.
Oreo had his foot on the line when he scooped that ball up, tried to get the transition game going. And we got a quick 30-second timeout here for Deptford as head coach Mike Valari wants to talk things over as his team has built that lead a little bit more, 40-21.
And Deptford, as we said, 5-2. We talked about it in the open a little bit. Their 2 losses were in neutral site games, but the road ahead for Deptford, if they could win, I mean, obviously still a lot of basketball to be played, but they are on the road on the 14th at Delsey. They have a really tough schedule ahead. They've got Delsey, followed up by Highland on the 16th. Then they play Sterling in the Martin Luther King tournament on January 18th. And in fact, 4 of their next 5 games are on the road, including Delsey, Sterling, Lindenwald, and Timber Creek. They won't be home after the Highland game all the way until January 23rd as they go back-to-back with Clearview and Cumberland.
Well, Deptford can use GCIT as a measuring stick with Highland because GCIT, I believe, beat Highland in the second game of the season 54-50.
That would be correct.
So it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility that Deptford's going to be able to handle them, at least the way they've done so tonight.
Suarez and Williams going at it. That ends in a jump ball. Yeah, Copestick there trying a shot from mid-range. Had a man open behind him. And this will be inbounded by Stanwood here. 40-21, a 19-point lead for the Spartans here as Deptford 2-2 in their last 4. Meanwhile, for GCIT at 5-3, off to a very positive start with McNeil Rice. They have won 3 of their last 4. That shot is no good. Stays in bounds, but Suarez hangs onto it. No good there, and Oreo is the one who breaks it up.
Suarez in some traffic there, just had some, didn't really look like he ever had a full grasp of the ball and just tried to take it up. Couldn't connect.
It's Cockrell in the corner, feeds it inside. Williams uses the iron, and it goes in. Now a 20-plus point lead as GCIT at this point kind of has to forget the scoreboard and just think about the easiest way to get as many points as possible in this matter of time as the second chance put back by by number 13, Pat Monahan, will be the one to put GCIT back on the board here, 42-23.
Monahan with 5 points. Tough luck for Stanwood as that 3 rattled out, but that looked like a nice clean shot for him.
It was a clean shot, but he had a teammate back there to back him up. Williams lets it fly. And Deptford again going kind of back and forth here with GCIT. You get a basket, I get a basket. 2
straight buckets for Williams. He's now got 12.
Here's a 3. Stanwood airballed. And checking in for Deptford will be number 14, Sean Costello. As looks like Williams will spend some time on the bench.
Costello listed at 6'7", the senior. Good rebounder, has some shooting range for a kid his size. And the most interesting thing about Sean Costello, he's a member of the golf team at Deptford High School at 6'7". Really? I'd like to get a look at those clubs.
I'd imagine they're specially made.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to certainly be custom when you're that tall.
It's like at Topgolf. You have to ask people at the front for the lefty clubs. I have to do that every time. We've got a foul here. Inbounding will be Cockrell.
They call that against GCIT. A little bit of a surprise there. I think they whistled Monahan, who had the steal, but they said maybe he pulled the jersey to get the steal. So
Costello has this one. Bounce pass to Copestick. Another bounce pass from beyond. Here it goes from the free throw line. Bounces out. Offensive rebound by Cockrell. 3 ball. Good. That one hung up there for a long time, but after a couple of hops, Copestick knocks another one down.
Second straight game for Copestick with 5 threes, and we've still got a quarter and a half almost to play here in this one.
He can certainly add on to that here, as he was going to get a breakaway, but instead a foul is called.
So Copestick with 18 to lead all scorers here tonight, and then, as you said, forced that turnover there and got fouled. And I think we've got Mike Hallman's going to stop in now, the GCIT player, the senior from the Cheetahs, who's been injured this season. He's going to join us now for a few minutes to chat. Mike, thanks.
It's Mark Hallman.
Mark, I'm sorry. I was reading the wrong name. Mark, thanks for stopping by, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
So, has it been tough for you to kind of have to sit and watch? I'm already shaking your head. Tell us about how you've kind of had to deal with this situation with the injury.
Oh, it's been tough. I mean, trying to deal with being on the sidelines is weird for me. I hate not being able to play, but I've had to play my role, and that has been just helping out, being a good leader when I can, and just try to be a good morale guy for the team.
How much of a downer was it to have that happen in the preseason, in a scrimmage game like that, when you were pretty much probably already thinking ahead, right, to the regular season?
Oh yeah, man, that was rough. I've already had people yelling at me, telling me, "Why did you dive at that ball?" But I can only play one way, and that's 100%.
Exactly.
Mark, I remember very well from my basketball coverage last year, GCIT in Gloucester. That was a game, it was just before the new year. You guys were down 16 at the half, and you took the game-winning shot in double coverage to get that win. I was up there on the top of the Gloucester booth. Sometimes I felt like that was a real turning point in your season, as you guys had a very good run in the Tri-County Conference Tournament, and off to a very good start this year. Having to watch this team from the sidelines, what's your kind of your viewpoint of how your teammates are playing so far this year, especially considering that you aren't out there with them on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, we worked really hard in the offseason, and like I said, it's not easy being on the sidelines, but I love to see them play and cheer them on. But yeah, that was a great call, by the way, for that buzzer beater. I have it memorized. Some would even call that call unbelievable.
Oh my goodness. Even I didn't remember that call. That is some excellent memory.
I've only seen it like 100,000 times.
Oh my goodness, that's great. We got a timeout here, but Mark, for GCIT, we were talking with the athletic director, Mike McAleer, a couple of quarters ago, and one of the things that he really stressed was building the community, especially even though not everybody in your school comes from the same town. You got people from all over the county that are coming here to pursue their future careers. It's not like a traditional Group 1 where I went, where everybody lived in the same town and has known each other since kindergarten. Right. So what's that like to build the community and to build the culture in a school that isn't run like a traditional public school?
Yeah, I mean, we got to band together as an entire school, and we got to put all that other stuff aside. Like, for example, coming back from playing at Washington Township, I don't really keep in contact with anybody from there, but I had to pick up this new team and work with them, and honestly, they're all my best friends. They're my brothers. I love each and every single one of them. Mikey Stanwood, by the way, I love you, bro.
We'll make sure that message gets across.
Oh yeah, he told me. He wanted me to say it.
That's classic. So Mark, tell us a little bit about how your coach, McNeil Rice, has been able to kind of mold you guys into a team, and the things that he prioritizes in your group.
I mean, I love Coach Rice. He's been such a great coach all these years, and all right, he's all right. He's such a great coach, and he puts so much time and energy into this program. In the off season, we've had so much work, and I'm just really grateful for this opportunity to play ball here. And he's taught me a lot. I've learned a lot from Coach Rice.
How important is it to be able to, as a captain, be able to help him get his message across, right? Sometimes, there's certain things that you want to hear from your coach, but sometimes I think the player might be able to step in and kind of help, accentuate that message and get it across a little bit easier than maybe the coach can. How do you as a captain kind of help do that?
Well, one of the things that Coach Rice told me when he gave me the captain spot, he said, of course, it's a big responsibility, and he also said, I want you to be a coach on the court, and I've tried to do that all these years. It's great because we're both competitors and we want to win. So yeah, helping him get his message across. I mean, I try my best. I hope the teammates respond well to it. And I hope I've earned their respect, and I respect all of them for all the hard work they put in.
We asked Elle Farrow during the girls' game. She was here. She's injured too. We asked her about what she's doing at school. So tell us, Mark, what you're studying at GCIT, and then maybe what you're planning on doing beyond.
Yeah, right now I've been studying business and finance at GCEN, and my plans for the future, I want to play basketball in college, and I'm thinking of studying at RCSJ, taking business here, and then after that I'll go from there and see where life takes me, but that's my plan at the moment.
Do you feel that, obviously you came to GCIT, explain a little bit about that choice and what made it the kind of choice for your particular taste and what you wanted to do.
Yeah, coming to GCIT was a big decision to make. Like I said, I came from Washington Township and I knew everybody there, and having to leave that behind and come here was tough. But I found that I could have a better opportunity here, and I'm so thankful I made that decision. It was the greatest decision I made for my high school career, and yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Mark, for joining us,
Thank you.
we wish you the best of luck in your recovery. And
Appreciate it.
Senior, right?
Yes, sir.
So you might see me in some classes next year. I don't know. I'll be a year ahead of you, but it depends.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you
I
very
hope to
much,
see you.
Mark.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, Mark, good luck.
At the end of the third quarter, 49-25, Deptford over GCIT. We'll be right back on the Gloucester County Educational Network right after this. Right off the bat here in the fourth quarter at Rowan College of South Jersey. I'm Dan Wilkins with Mike Shute to my right. It's been an excellent couple of games today as Deptford leads the Gloucester County Institute of Technology 49-25. Deptford has been very insistent on the three ball, especially from the senior Aiden Copestick. Yeah,
Copestick with 5 threes, plus he's 3 for 4 at the line. So he's got 18 points tonight.
There's another one.
Looking for more.
Rattles out. And the rebound for Gavin Shaneline, the 6'2" senior with the cheetah print haircut. I was making a mention of it on Tuesday when GCIT played Washington Township. Game that they lost 56-41. Mike Stanwood was inactive for that game. He was a game time decision. And of course, Mark Hallman as well, with his injury continuing to be out there. That shot misses and the rebound goes for Cockrell. This one dancing along the half-court line, a handful of turnovers in succession. We've got a foul. The shot is waved off. And I believe that was in the shooting motion.
It'll be, either way, it'll be the third against Monahan, I believe. They're going to catch him for his third.
All right, they will not count it as a shooting foul.
Yeah, he reached in as he drove past him. I think he caught him on the arm there. So
okay. A lot of things happening at once, right? We've got a travel called. GCIT this year 5-3 with McNeil Rice. They were 14-13 in 2023-24. They made it and won Flight C of the Tri-County Conference Tournament, beating Pennsville by 10 last February in the conference final.
Yeah, they finished with a 6-game winning streak last year, so certainly, they finished strong. They have a lot of the same guys back. They're off to a pretty good start this year today, notwithstanding, but certainly off to a good start for them.
And a nice right-handed lay by Luke Villari. That'll make it 51-25.
Now, Villari, of course, we mentioned Mike Villari, the head coach. Luke is his nephew, and Mike's twin brother, Pat, is an assistant coach, so Pat is Luke's father.
So it runs in the family.
There you go.
Moving inside for Shaneline, got whistles for a foul.
And just to fill you in on Mike Villari, he's a 1995 Deptford grad. He played 3 sports there for the Spartans when he was in school: soccer, hoops, and baseball. And they won a couple of sectional. They won a couple of conference titles when he was there in his senior year. The soccer team won the conference in the fall of '94, and then the basketball team was conference champions in the winter of '95, and he was a member of both of those squads. So he's trying to bring that back a little bit to this Spartans program.
We do have a foul and one as Gavin Shaneline is the one to go to the line. I mean, that's one thing that seems to run out of Deptford a lot, is a lot of in-house, maybe not in-house, but a lot of graduates from that school. You know, obviously it's a plus to have somebody coaching your team, especially a flagship team of the school that is a graduate of the program, has been in that program, knows what is expected of them from an administrative level, and now they're seeing it on the floor as well. They're seeing the fruits of their labors, if you will, here in this big lead over GCIT.
Mike teaches history there too at the school as well, and he's really been with the basketball program for 20 years as an assistant and helping at various levels, but this is his second year now as the head coach.
Malagpo wasting no time there. As a couple of passes back and forth between Malagpo and Stanwood, and he drills it from the baseline. 51-29 now with 5:35 to play in regulation. Good crossover there by Cockerell. He moves over to Oreo. I'm laughing at the reaction of Luke Villari in the corner as there's a three that's airballed. A right-handed skyhook by Costello. As another bounce pass, look at that save. GCIT is able to hang on to it. An over-the-head pass, Stanwood looking to deflect the situation by running out to the volleyball line. But an incredible sequence of events there in the last couple of seconds. He deflects back to number 24, Ahmad Traore. Bounce pass to Stanwood. He goes back to 24. Now moving inside, Malagpo. Thought there was contact there, but no call, and Stanwood rolls that one over. Now we will have a foul.
Strong rebound for Costello there. As he was able to find his space and bring down the board, draw the foul as well, and laughs his way down the court.
2 team fouls each here with 4:37 in the fourth, as Deptford leads GCIT 51-29. Whew, look at that crossover from Shaquem Green. Definitely made Traore miss there, the junior forward. Wasting no time, takes it himself, bounces off the hands of Antoine Sims, as Alonso Hernandez will check back in for Deptford.
Villari will take a seat. Villari plays soccer too for the club team Real New Jersey. He's that's a pretty highly rated program in club soccer. He played, of course, for Deptford High School as well.
Contact on the way up from the shot from Shaneline.
You know, for Luke Villari too, it's only his 3rd year playing basketball total in his life. So for the junior, he's looked pretty good out there. Kind of a natural athlete, really, watching him play today.
Very, very true. Shaneline goes to the stripe. For GCIT on the road ahead, they are away at Florence this upcoming Saturday, a 10:30 a.m. start up in Burlington County, up in northern Burlington County. Then they are back-to-back home games versus Kingsway and Salem Tech next week. Kingsway and GCIT, that should be a really good game on the 15th. Kingsway coming in, I believe right now 6-1 on the young campaign, and then they go to Kingsway's 8-1 right now because they just beat Delsey earlier tonight. They go to Kings Christian to play in the Winter Classic Showcase on January 18th.
And they get another matchup with Salem Tech on the 17th too. They've already beaten Salem Tech once this year by the score of 59-13 at the ACIT Showcase, Winter Showcase earlier this year. So they'll get another crack at them.
Malagpo to Stanwood off the glass. Stanwood rattles it in after a very nice pass in transition.
Stanwood with 9, Ian Malgapa with a great look. And now both teams just kind of running and gunning.
I like that. It's the Clayton philosophy. They put up 100 versus Gateway earlier in December. They put up 102 a couple nights ago. If you have the guys for it, the run and gun offense, it's tiring, but if you can do it, it's great. 3-ball. Ahmad Traore knocks it down from deep. Coming to a hard halt there is Oreo. Now Hernandez back to Oreo.
The junior knocked down that three there. He only had 2 points on the season coming into that three ball, so good for him knocking down the three from the corner.
Look at that move. Green almost had a very artistic layup, but is unable to finish. As this one's into the corner. Pump fake. Second goes as Monahan knocks it down. 37 for GCIT and 53 for Deptford.
7 for Monahan. He's got 4 games in double figures this year. Just 4 points against Washington Township the other night. But again, he's a Deptford kid, so getting some buckets against the Spartans is certainly going to make him feel good when the night's over.
We're going to have a travel called on Sean Costello. For Deptford coming up after tonight, a win would bring them to 6-2. And it looks like Mike Villari will call a timeout. We'll see if it's 30 seconds or a full.
I think primarily he wanted to get some subs in the game there, give them a chance to check in, and then just organize too, right? Hey, you're playing here, you're doing this, because sometimes 5 new guys run on the floor and you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. We talked a little bit about Deptford's road ahead. 4 of their next 5 games are on the road. They're away at Delsey on the 14th, home to Highland. Then they go to the MLK tournament at Sterling on January 18th. I believe Sterling is the host high school for that game, as they have in the past. Lindenwold on the 20th, Timber Creek on the 21st, and then they are away. I'm sorry, the MLK tournament is at Highland this year. I apologize. Then they play Clearview on the 23rd. But Deptford, again, right now 5-2 in their 7th game, are now in their 8th game with Villari entering this season. 2-0 in the Tri-County Liberty Division with wins over Cumberland and Triton in interdivision play. 3-ball, Stanwood off the front of the rim. Very nice rebound by Monahan. And it goes in. And Green will take this one as GCIT still with most of their starters in the game. Deptford has taken most of their starters out. Hunter Thomas is in the game, also a baseball athlete for Deptford, as a 3 off the mark. And that will go into the possession of, looks like Deptford. Yes, Thomas will inbound. That shot is off. With 100 seconds left, Stanwood fires back. This one's for 2, and it's good. It did count for 3, okay. There are 3 Lions on the floor. Sometimes I can get them crossed up. But I was gonna say, don't look back now. It's an 11-point game. 1:20 left. GCIT's on a roll. They still have a little bit of time before they need to start fouling.
Well, if GCIT knocks down a 3 here, you're going to see all Deptford starters come right back in the game. But, with a minute left, probably unlikely.
Stanwood up, misses, catches his own rebound. And now it goes back to the 6'7" Sean Costello.
And I think the starters for Deptford now will all sit back down.
They were standing. And now Green hanging on to it after a deflection.
I think he had a timeout Deptford there.
Yeah, I believe so.
To avoid the 10-second violation.
I was going to say they were getting very close there, and they will talk it over. 58 seconds remaining, 53-42. GCIT, they were crawling back, but it looks like this one maybe might be out of reach. As we said, GCIT started off their season with back-to-back wins over Riverside and Highland. They lost to Clearview on the 20th, and then they went 1-1 in the ACIT Holiday Showcase, losing to the hosts, ACIT, by 15 and beating Salem soundly 59-13.
And you saw Coach McNeil Rice in there in the huddle, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to wish him and his wife good luck with expecting their 3rd child due in the 2nd week of March. So they timed it out pretty good right after hoop season's done, right? He and I joked about that a little bit on the phone, but that'll be great for them. His wife, Megan, and his daughters, Mia, who will turn 10 soon, and his other daughter, Margot, turns 5 a little bit later this month. So it'll be a family of 5 for the Rices, and that'll be a really great month of March for him, and we wish him all the best.
And same here, best wishes to McNeil Rice. I'm sure we'll be seeing a whole bunch of him in the South Jersey basketball community as he enters his veteran years of men's basketball coaching. This one is over the head of Oreo, who will take this one. 45 seconds left. Remember, no shot clock here in the state of Jersey. So these guys could theoretically just hang on to it as long as GCIT lets them. They're going to pass it around to deflect some more time off the clock. Thomas inching towards that backcourt line, and Costello on top, or rather Oreo on top of the logo.
One last thing Coach Rice wanted to stress too is he's got a lot of kids that are really great students on this squad. Malgapo, Shaneline, Monahan, Stanwood, Schmidt, and Morris all got inducted into the National Honor Society this year. So he's as proud of that as he is about what these kids are doing on the court as well. So, of course, they had a scrimmage the same night as the induction ceremony. So a lot of these guys, JV guys, got a lot of run that night in that preseason game for sure.
Absolutely. That's why they call them student athletes, not athlete students, right?
At least
the student part comes first.
Yeah, that's what he was kind of stressing too, that, these guys outside of basketball, really do bring that part of the student athlete, the student part to the table.
Absolutely. Oh, it's 15 seconds to play as Brian Oreo might just dribble this one out. The Deptford bench clapping. The student section starting to stand. He passes it out into the corner for a late three. It's an air ball, and we're going to get one more play. 1.5 seconds left.
I think they really wanted to try and get a basket, it seems like, from Matt Costello from the corner there.
Sometimes, you got to do it in this situation. They will run it out, though, as Hunter Thomas is the last one to touch it. And that's a wrap here from our CSJ. 53-42. The Deptford and GCIT teams across the girls and boys, they split this doubleheader. GCIT soundly beat Deptford in the girls game, but in the nightcap, Deptford is the one that goes out on top, really never relinquishing from a 10-point lead as it's a 53-42 final. Stay tuned on the GCEN Gloucester County Educational Network as we've got post-game coming up in just a moment. Welcome here from Rowan College of South Jersey. The final score here in the boys' game, 53-42 in favor of Deptford. They improved to 6-2 on the campaign. And Mike, what a great game from Deptford, just leading from the get-go and never giving up. Yeah,
they just jumped all over them to start this one. Got a lot of turnovers early, some quick baskets, some fast breaks and easy stuff. Then as the game wore on, Copestick took over, hitting some threes. He finished with 18 points to power the Spartans to the win.
And this is a big win for Deptford, especially over GCIT. This will help a lot in power points as they go into a very tough conference schedule here in the middle of January.
Yeah, it's a good warm-up to get things rolling as you start to then chip away into your division schedule. And then, of course, looking ahead to state tournament action. I think Deptford really has an eye on that this year, trying to take the next step and get a little bit better each year.
And not just that, but this great community event as well at our CSJ. The girls' game had a lot of atmosphere. So did the boys' game. I mean, this place was almost sold out for the boys' game. It was an excellent opportunity for these two teams from neighboring schools to play at an opportunity and at a campus where everybody can be noticed and recognized.
Yeah, great opportunity, and Coach Mackler, Mr. Mackler, the AD, talked about it a bit, how great it was that they did it a couple years ago. They want to kind of try and keep doing that and make this a good community event. It's in Deptford. Both schools are located in Deptford, and it's just a great opportunity for everyone to come out, get a little bit of a bigger stage, right? This building holds a lot more people than the GCIT gym does, so it's a good chance to let the kids shine here on a big stage.
And that'll be all for us tonight as Deptford takes home the boys' game in the nightcap, 53-42 over the GCIT Cheetahs. Thanks to our entire crew, including our wonderful folks in the production truck, for putting on an excellent show. And from my colleague Mike Shute, I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you sometime in the future. Have a good one, folks.